Sky here, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we're going to be working on our final part, part 5 of our Halloween color along. I'm super excited for this. Assuming that I get the videos posted for when I want to. Happy Halloween, everyone. Of course, if you're a Rainbow Channel member, you'll be watching this a week early. So not quite Halloween for you guys yet, but hopefully you're excited. So we have been working in Jasmine Becket-Griffith's Halloween coloring book, and we've been working on Pumpkin King's Night Out, and this is the final part, the part that's going to bring it all together, and I'm so excited. I'm so ready for this. It's taken a lot longer than I was anticipating it to, but it's totally worth the effort so far, and hopefully the final result makes it even that much more worth it. So I don't really think there's much to say. For the most part, I'm going to dive on in. Color-wise, we're going to do Sally's dress kind of in between the muted and super colorful version. I'm unsure of her eyes. I'm thinking gray. I was debating kind of matching them to his head, but I don't know if that's such a good idea. I'm thinking gray. And then I have a really pretty, like very light purple, almost like his head color that I was planning for his shirt. But I think that might be too close to his head, so what I'm actually debating now is doing maybe like a mix of that color and white for this part, and then doing like a grayed white for his shirt. His belt and buttons are going to be gold, and then the stem on his head is going to be the same dark gray as the jacket. So that's it for colors, and I'm curious to see how it all turns out. So let's go ahead and zoom on in and get started. Alright, so as always, I have a couple pieces of paper in behind the page that I'm working on. We're going to start off with the Mediterranean blue, so I'm going to color this the same way that I did the jacket. So I'm just going to do a light layer of this. Now that Miss Miko's done eating, I'm just going to put her food away. I've got a little bit of strawberry wine here in my pretty tumbler. I think it's a strawberry wine. I think I drank the watermelon one first, so I think this one is strawberry. It's not my favorite, but it's good. I've been testing out a few different kinds of wines and trying to find one that I like. And the first one I drank, which is a watermelon wine, I can't remember what brand. It was really good. And then I tried like a pineapple mango one, and that one was a little bit too much. I'm not a big fan of white wines. I think it's got to be like a red wine or like a dessert wine. And then this strawberry one isn't too bad, but it's not my favorite. Okay, so next we're going to come in with the black. We'll start putting in our shadows. So I'm going to go to the left of this line and to the right of this line. We're going to kind of bring these out a little bit. We'll do just under this part here. This part back here and this one here are going to be fairly dark. So they're kind of in behind everything. So we want them to appear a little bit further back. I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow just at the very top here. And building up that initial color to be really dark. And then I think this I'm actually going to make dark kind of all along this left side here, because with the way his head's tilting, the light is kind of coming this way. I mean, it's technically behind him, but still, we're going to do the shadows as if it's coming this way. So this part would be in shadow, and then this part would be all highlight. Except for right here, the underside of this would be a little bit of a shadow. And put a little bit of a shadow just like in the center of this one here. Fade some of these out a little bit better. I think the bottom of this should be dark. So I'm going to darken that up and just fade up from that. I think the contrast between that and his head will be very helpful, hopefully. A little bit of shadow here too, coming under here. It's looking good. I like that. So let's just build up from that. So we're just going to keep adding layers, keep darkening it up. Every time we add another layer, we also kind of go over the faded area to help keep it looking soft. Okay, I think these ones back here, I'm just going to go right ahead and color those in like super black. Okay, that looks good there. So let's come in with our 90%. So I'm gonna sharpen mine because it's a little bit dull from his jacket. So I'm gonna pop that in over top of the black and fade it out a little ways. Gonna fade it out lightly into the shadows so that way we do have a little bit of a highlight, but we're still gonna go over that highlight with this color. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and then let's come in with these 70%. Same thing, I'm gonna give that one a nice sharpen, and I think we can probably use this one to kind of burnish and blend everything together. This isn't as big of an area as the jacket was, so I don't think we'll need a burnishing pencil with this one. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of bring the 70% cool gray kind of sweeping down towards the lines. I'm gonna do this for all of them. I'll add one here too. There we go. Just makes his head look a little bit more interesting. Let's do this one as well, just a little bit. So just kind of fading them out, just very soft. Do kind of the same thing, kind of coming up from his head. Hopefully I'm in frame here, but I'm just doing the same thing right around the bottom. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys could see, so that's perfect. Come up to about here. All right, so I'm actually gonna just switch back to the 70% cool gray, and I'm gonna add some shadows in here. So just lightly, I'm just using a very light pressure. Put a little bit of a shadow in underneath the button. And then kind of around where his jacket covers his shirt, I'm gonna add a little bit of a shadow. I'm assuming that these are two separate pieces of clothing, so I'm gonna put a little bit of a shadow just above this patterned part here. So this is actually gonna be white. It's gonna have some gray shadowing to it to kind of help that. So it doesn't look super flat, because obviously if we just left this white, it would just look unfinished, right? We still need white, even white has a little bit of shadow. So we're gonna use some gray shadow for that. So I don't wanna go super firm with this or anything, and I want to really lightly fade this out, almost to the point that it's fading out into the paper. You can add a little bit of a shadow here. Let's darken up this shadow a little bit. Oh, really? Let's darken up here. So just adding a little bit of extra layers where we're darkening it up. And then a little bit of shadow here, I think. Just like that. So really working out those fades, really making sure that they're very soft. They're a little bit rough down here. So I'm gonna work on that a little bit. See, and already that looks white, but it looks different. I'm unsure if I want to do like the white and this color, or if I want to do black with that color. I'm leaning towards the white, but I don't know if it would look good or not. Just let me go out. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep this color out for sure, and we'll come back to it after we do that light purple and just kind of see what it looks like, I think. I don't know what the other color was with that combination. It was a 3-color combination. I can remember 2 of the colors. Oh, black. So it was black, gray, lavender, and white. That's easy to remember. Okay, so with with a very sharp pencil, I'm going to start coloring in over top of the gray. Just using a medium firm pressure just to kind of help drag the color forward. So just using small little circles, and I'm just pulling that in towards the center, in towards the whiter bits. Yeah, see, look at the difference of that. I must have had like a little speck of something on my white pencil. It kind of transferred onto here. I don't think it bothers me that much, so I'm not going to worry about it, but I could just erase that a little bit and then reapply the white. It's definitely a reason why we always want to make sure our pencils are clean, especially when working with super light colors. Sometimes I forget, though. I'm going to color over the black lines as well for the shirt, because that'll help soften it up and give that white look as well. See, now even with just having that done, I feel like white would be too much for here, but I don't know. Let's see. So I'm just going to pick out a couple stripes here. So I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one with the purple. Yeah. I don't want to start off too dark, so I'm just going to do a light layer of the black, and I also don't want too much of the black, so I'm going to do a light layer and start fading it out right away. And I'm going to make sure I've got a really soft fade. A little bit trickier with this tiny little corner piece here, but it does the trick. I dropped my swatch. Okay, so from there, I'm going to come in with the grade lavender. So I'm going to go over the black using a fairly heavy hand, and I'm going to bring the gray lavender out on its own so we get like a decent amount of it, and then I'm going to fade this out. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And get rid of some of the pencil dust here when I notice it. Okay, so like that. And then we come in with the white, making sure it's clean this time. And then we're just gonna bring this over that middle part. I'm not too worried about going over all of it, mostly just the middle. I think it would be too, I don't know. I don't know if I like the light. But I don't know if I would like it dark either. I feel like the light is too distracting. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my black pen again. And I'm gonna color these in with that. The pen kind of gives a neat texture to this too, so I don't really mind it. And I got a cat at the door. Hold on, kitty. Hold on. I think I'm already liking the black better. It makes this pop so much more, this color here. And that color actually does match his head quite well. You stay down. Okay, I'm just gonna run a line along here to kind of crisp up the edge of that. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. It looks a little bit strange right now because it's in like a whole bunch of black and gray. Like it's very, almost like monotoned kind of. But I think once we have the gold in there, it will kind of liven it up a little bit, hopefully. Okay, so for the gold, and I believe we have everything in frame. Yeah, everything necessary. So we're gonna do a base with the artichoke. I'm gonna go in with the dark umber. I'm gonna keep really sharp pencils since these are very small accents. So help us get this color in small spaces without it taking over. So I'm going on the bottom left side and just kind of creating a outline here. Almost an outline, kind of. Fade that up. We're gonna do the same on this one. And then I think on the belt, let's see, let's do a little bit on the bottom. Maybe like along here a little bit. And then maybe this one here. I don't know, I'm just kind of winging it. Looks good to me. Okay, we're gonna bring out with the chocolate. Just a little bit. We don't need a whole lot of this. So I'm just gonna put it over the dark umber, bring it out slightly. Chocolate kind of has a little bit more of a yellow tint to it. Okay, then we're gonna come out a little bit with the artichoke. We're not gonna go all the way. I'll leave a little bit of a highlight. Totally forgot about this button. Okay, dark umber. We're not gonna be able to fit much on this one. Chocolate. And I'm gonna skip the artichoke on that one because there's not enough room. Okay, this side here, I'm just gonna color straight in with the artichoke. And then let's do this part too. Okay, and then lastly, we're gonna go in with the yellow ochre over everything. There we go. And with that, I think Jack's skeleton is done. Is it Skellington? Jack Skellington, I think. I don't know. I like I said, I haven't actually watched the movie. I've seen bits and pieces, but not the whole thing. Okay, since we can, we might as well. Let's put a little bit of accents on him. Maybe we can, if my pens want to cooperate. I win. For now. Just going to create little highlights here. Kind of like little broken lines. I've been playing around with adding highlights to his face. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave it. I just don't want to mess it up. And I kind of like that dark soulless look. It looks really good. It's like the creepy version of Jack Skellington. Didn't do that one again. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to go over with the yellow ochre. Finish that one off. A little tiny dot on it. Put a little bit of a highlight on the buckle. Nothing too fancy, just like that. I'm gonna skip her eyes for now. And I'm gonna pull up my reference here. Hopefully my phone battery lasts. It's a little bit dead. Okay, so I'm gonna do her clothing very, very simple like. So at least that's the plan, we'll see. I'm gonna go in with the yellow ochre and I'm basically gonna create a kind of dark outline around each section. So this is gonna be the yellow section. So I'm just gonna create kind of a dark outline along here. A little shadow under her boobs here. And then I'm just going to kind of color everything in, just kind of fading it out from the outlines that we just made. I'm going to grab the dark umber. I think I'm going to use this for shadow. So same thing, I'm just going to run a little bit of this just along the edging, and then I'm going to fade it in a little bit. Okay, kind of like that. And we're going to go back in with our yellow ochre over top of that. We're going to bring that in. It's going a little bit firm over top and a little bit out from that. We want to have a good amount of this color on its own, but then we are yet again going to fade it out. Just kind of away from the outlines that we did. This part's pretty much just going to be fully colored in then. And down here mostly as well. I'm going to create kind of a solid area here as well, and then fade up from that. And then I'm just going to gently put a couple layers of this color, but just faint here for a highlight. And I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to burnish it. I'm not going to do anything else with that. I like that cloth look, so it works perfectly. The next section we're going to do is pink. Oh, that definitely needs a sharpen. All right. So same thing, we're going to start off by lightly outlining. And then we'll fade out from that. And lightly color everything in. Again, using the dark umber. And we are going to do the same thing. So going in on that outline and then fading out softly. All right, and then going back in with the pink. We're gonna go over the brown, bring it out on its own. We'll fade out into the highlight where we'll just layer it up lightly, but kind of leave it as its own highlight. It's so pretty. I love this color together. The brown and pink, they just look so good. I feel like I am coloring over something. There's nothing there. Oh well, I don't know what it is. Like feels like there's like a crumb or something underneath the paper that I keep like running over, but I don't think there actually is. Okay, solidifying the color here and then lightly fading out everywhere else. Not sure what color I'm going to do this yet. Kind of see what it looks like when we're done and go from there maybe. Ooh, it's so pretty. Okay, our next one is going to be Blue Lake. And I'm sure you get what we're doing now because it's going to be very repetitive, just over and over again. Oh, it broke. Well then, let's try this again. Ugh, not only did it break, it's getting pencil shavings everywhere. It's breaking and it's messy. It's like completely splintering. Okay. Oh, never mind. It's like, okay, let's try this. But then it's like, just kidding. It broke. This pencil must have been dropped at some point. Okay, same thing. I lost the swatch. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I found it. Okay. Back in. All right, I think that's good there. These dots here are going to be black, so I'm just going to grab my black pen and color those in. We're doing it black. It has been decided. Spur of the moment decision, but decided nonetheless. I'm going to sharpen that point up a little bit there, make it look really swooly. It's not a word, but it is now. Beautiful. Oh, I'm obsessed. I really like this kind of in between of the colorful and like muted. I'm really glad I decided to do that because otherwise I think her dress would have been too bright, especially with how dark he ended up being. So I feel like now she complements him almost perfectly. Let's see. In place of the black, I decided the black is going to be it's going to be too dark. So I'm going to do the indigo blue instead. But instead of using the dark umber, actually, nope, I'm still gonna use the dark umber. I think the black is just gonna look too weird now that I've used dark umber on everything else. We do the same thing. I am going to do a little bit of like a darker bit in here too, since it's so close to her skirt. I feel like it technically would be anyways. I accidentally went over her thumb a little bit there. Oops. But yeah, just so it's so close to her skirt anyways, I feel like it normally would be. And then this will kind of help break up the blue from her arm as well. Need a little tiny eraser to kind of dab that off because it is fairly noticeable. It's better. Okay. So this spot, I had decided to do the yellow ochre, but now I'm kind of debating the pink because I really like that. Oh, well, I'm actually going to do her skirt like a mix of these two colors. So actually, yeah, yellow ochre it is. I don't know about this piece. Maybe we'll do that black too. I think that's what we'll end up doing. so pretty. I think we'll just keep it simple and let's see, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink. I want this one pink. Just so I don't mess it up. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying is I think we'll keep this simple and just do a repetitive pattern. Okay. Dark umber all around. So I'm just pretty much just gonna go directly under this. Kind of treat this as like one whole area. Just as a time saver. Still gonna fade this out nicely. Add a little bit here, even though it technically wouldn't be there, but I'm gonna add it anyways. Okay. And then same thing. I love that aged look that adding the dark umber does. Like this looked so bright up until just adding that little bit, and it's not even over all of it. It's just over a little bit of it, and it makes it look like so vintage almost. I love that. Okay, and then lastly with the pink. Okay, I think just to help because it looks a little bit funny. I know this doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to add a little bit of the dark umber. Just kind of coming out from her, between her fingers here. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay, let's color this in. Beautiful. So for her eyes, I'm gonna color in the iris, or sorry, the pupil first. Make that nice and black. What are we at for time, actually? Oh, not too bad, actually. All right. So I'm gonna grab the Blue Lake. I'm gonna put a little bit in here. I'm gonna try to use kind of colors that I have out already, because for one, I don't want to grab more, and for two, I think the colors that we have here will actually work really well. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the indigo blue kind of at the very corner here, and then just fade it up. I want just like a tiny little bit of it. And then where is my white? There it is. Okay, that works for now. 70% cool gray. I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit up top here. And fade down. So this is kind of like on the white of her eyeball. We're just creating a little bit of a shadow there. This isn't going to be very dark at all. And then we're going to go back in with the white, make sure it's very, very clean. I'm going to actually sharpen mine and clean the tip of it because we don't want any weird color in there. Grab from the 70% and color down. All right, we're gonna do the same color we did here. I'm gonna go with it because that's what I keep seeing, so hopefully it works out well. Okay, so a little tiny bit of black up at the top, fade down. Don't want very much black in here at all because it does drag down quite a bit, so we don't need a lot. Great lavender over top of that, and we're gonna bring it down till it's its own color, and then we're gonna fade out from there. I don't think I want to fade out completely to the white. I'm just gonna lightly go over this whole area with the grade lavender so it's not a stark white, it's just a very light purple. We'll still go over that with the white anyways. I'm gonna go over the lines here to really soften up her pupils, or her irises, I mean. All right, so now I'm gonna take my black and outline her eyes, do up her eyelashes, make them super dark. I'm not gonna breathe while doing this. I'm gonna bring her eyelashes out over her hair. Might regret that, but that's what I'm doing. Just like that. that one just lost its pokiness a little bit there, but it's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of white, just kind of in the corner here, right before her pupil starts. And I'm going to kind of underline her eye with white here. I'm gonna bring that all the way up to her top eyelash as well, I think. Put a little bit of highlight on her nose, maybe a little bit on her lips here. Maybe not on her lips. No, just wipe that off a little bit there. Don't actually like that. Just playing around with the idea of kind of like adding some highlights to her stitches. I kind of like the looks of that. I don't think I would do every single stitch, but it does kind of make them a little bit more noticeable, which I think they're very cool. I think they look really good, so I do like that. I'm gonna outline this part too. Why not? It adds a lot of like drama to her eyes. It's just beautiful. Do a little bit on her eyebrow as well. It's all about those final touches. I don't think I'm going to do any white on the stitching on her dress. I'm going to leave that as is, but the ones on her arms, yeah, a little bit. Or I should say the ones on her skin. Anything else? I do want to grab my pink. I'm just like, this looks very different compared to up there. I just do think that I need to darken this up a little bit more. Yeah, I think I left this just a little bit too muted. So I'm going to darken up right around the very edges. Just need more of that pink color by itself, I think. Now, hopefully we were in frame. Oh, we are, but we're not now. Sorry. I'm going to zoom out actually. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. I'll do the same with the Blue Lake. It also probably doesn't help that these are like such small patches compared to up top where it's quite a bit different. I don't want to do too much. I think there is good. Okay, do we need highlights anywhere else? Need some highlights in her eyes here, obviously. Just gonna add maybe like a little star there. It's not going to show up super well because of the pen that I used, but that's okay. I don't know if there's really anything else that I would add. Add a couple little extra white highlights to the stitching because I actually really, really love that. Maybe that's all we need for her lips. Just like a couple little dots on the bottom one. That's good. All right, well, there's only one thing left to do. Stickles. So I'm just going to take some clear stickles. I'm just going to run them along the lightning. I'm just going to do thin strands here. Then I can kind of blend them around because I don't really like just full-on stickles. I always think it looks a little bit funny to me, so I like to kind of move them around to get more of a blended and less concentrated look. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'm actually just going to get a Q-tip and do it that way. Another perk to doing it this way is they'll dry super fast. I don't think I would add stickles anywhere else. I don't think it really seems necessary. We could add a few in the moon. Let's maybe do that. I'm just gonna pick out like a couple little white spots, like maybe there, along here, here. So just kind of like more in the center. We'll do one down there. I'm keeping it very, very minimal. I'm just gonna kind of blend those out and then just touch a couple areas to hopefully disperse a few little sparkle clusters. maybe do a little bit here too. Oops. I'm gonna try going in with my Uniball Signal White over top of the Posca. I don't think it's really doing much. It's a little better. All right, I think she's done. Well, not just she, I think they're done. I think this is done. I would absolutely love to know what you guys think of this one. I'm a little bit obsessed, actually. From the point that I did his head, I was very unsure about how this would turn out. And that was pretty early on. I think we started doing his head in part 3. Part 2 or 3, I can't remember. I think it was part 3. It's quite a bit of time to be unsure about a page. But I think it turned out really good. I hope you guys agree. I hope you guys like it too. I was a little bit on the fence about maybe toning down the white on his suits, because it is a little bit confusing. Maybe let's do that, because I do feel like his arm kind of gets lost here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my black and I'm just gonna lightly go over the white lines that kind of come out from behind his arm. Like this one, this whole line here. I'm okay if this just comes off. I'm just gonna, I think that was the problem. Just gonna lightly tone that one down. Maybe a little bit under where the lapel comes out. Basically like add some shadows where the lines disappear. I think maybe that's what it is. They're just like super bright in the shadowed areas. I think that's better actually already. Just don't wanna... There. I think that looks a lot better. I think it kind of distinguishes the page a little bit more. I think my biggest problem was that line right next to his arm, because then it just kind of looked like it followed through and there was like no shape to it whatsoever. I think this looks better, and then the lines don't look super stark where they shouldn't. So I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, even on camera, that looks quite a bit better. It still looks a little bit funny here. Maybe just connect this line is what I'm gonna do. And then that'll help keep the shape of his arm intact. And then it won't be as confusing with his torso. That just looks so much better already, actually. Yeah, even on camera now I can actually see where his arm is, and before it just looked like the this all looked like one spot with like something coming out of here. So I like that a lot better. Yeah, I think that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about this page. I would absolutely love to see your guys's if you followed along with this. So if you could tag me in the hashtag DreamInColorAlong, you can post it on Instagram, Facebook, you can DM it to me, you can tag me in it, just so I can find it. I would absolutely love to see your guys' versions of this, especially if you changed anything. I love seeing the little tweaks and minor adjustments you guys make to make it your own. That just makes my day seeing you guys experiment and hopefully go out of your comfort zone as well. And even if you just followed along to a T, I would love to see how it turned out. I hope it turned out great and I hope you love it. I think we're going to leave it there. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a glimpse of the stickles. Learned a trick here. If I get the camera to zone in on something else, the stickles look way more sparkly. But yeah, they look absolutely gorgeous. There we go. All right, guys. I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else to say. I really hope you guys love this as much as I did, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, guys, as always, take care and see you next time. Bye.